But we just have to understand that when a transformational figure enters the fray, you got to pause and then isolate and compartmentalize and give them the love that they're due. And in this case, it belongs to Caitlin Clark.
They can do what Caitlin Clark did. Bring all those eyes. For pure basketball purists, there's nobody like her.
Just when we thought Caitlin Clark's record-breaking season was incredible, she did something that no athlete has ever done in the recent past. That's right, she just broke WNBA history once more. Caitlin Clark just won every Worldwide Athlete of the Year award from the past and smashed yet another record without even setting foot on the court. This basketball phenomenon, which has won everything from Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year to SBJ Business Athlete of the Year, is unstoppable, but this is where things get interesting. Angel Reese is really unhappy and even disputes that Clark is deserving of it.
It's been hard for me, but adjusting and just kind of have that mindset of like just moving on has been something I try to give myself a little bit of grace.
Caitlin Clark is box office. She is a star. If Angel Reese was older, I would have gotten on her about what she just said. Because I would have been like, how naive can you be? But she is
one superstar for her skill, and let's just say that the other star is too busy on TikTok. Can you believe the drama that is currently taking place? It's not just about an award anymore. It's a so-called rivalry that has everyone talking. But wait a minute.
So my whole thing was like, when I got drafted, number 7. So I'm like, cool. Like the pressure is not even on me because I'm drafted 7, so the pressure shouldn't be up there. So I'm like, all right, cool. I could just hoop. I'm like, all right, cool.
It's because you started killing it.
Well, yeah.
And they're like, oh,
I'm still a rookie. I'm still figuring it out.
Going to dive right into a narrative that has everything you could possibly want for Clark's talent and is rocking the basketball community. Reese's amusing pranks. Let's dissect it and examine why Clark's recent haul has everyone talking so that you won't want to miss what comes next.
Is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is when she's on the basketball floor.
Okay, let's get into the details of Clark's incredible season and the reason she won so many awards. What she accomplished on the court not only made it a memorable WNBA season, but it also totally changed the definition of a breakout season. If you're wondering how she did it, don't worry, we're going to explain everything.
Spoke to the media. She didn't speak to the media after the game against Caitlin Clark, but a member of the Chicago Sky, the national title winner at LSU, and she talked about where all this attention started.
First things first. Remember how I said that Clark did something that no other player in WNBA history has ever done? Well, here's the thing. She broke 60 to records, not just one, not just two. You read that right, and smashed them in a spectacular manner. Can you comprehend that it's not just a historic milestone, it's on a whole new level? I expect to be among the world's finest players someday, and I wouldn't settle for anything less. This is where things become extremely thrilling. Clark's incredible performance on the court was more than just her stats. It was a major factor in the Indiana Fever securing their first postseason berth in nearly 10 years. That's right, Clark did more than just deliver on an individual basis. She also changed the course of the entire team. More history for the Fever rookie. I believe a lot of positive things will come from that. What's even more amazing is what Clark has done off the court. Her influence has been nothing short of spectacular. Not quite amazing, look at this. During her debut season, WNBA clothing sales increased by an incredible 500%. Isn't a typo, the sales have increased sixfold? Everyone seems to want a piece of the WNBA after Clark waved a magic wand, but it's not just about jerseys and memorabilia. Because of Clark's involvement, the WNBA is now reaching audiences it has never reached before, and league viewership has increased to an all-time high.
A phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon.
Economists are taking notice of Caitlin Clark, a phenomenon. One prominent expert referred to her as a lightning rod for women's basketball, and she is not mistaken. People now compare Clark to Michael Jordan because of how monumental her influence has grown, of transforming the popularity of the game. Are you prepared for us to do some math? According to estimates, Clark's debut season brought in an incredible $36 million for Indianapolis alone. This kind of influence makes city officials and club owners giddy with anticipation. In only the next 3 years, the total value of professional women's basketball will soar by $1.6 billion. That's billions with a B, and it's going to change the game.
Way I did with Michael Jordan. Now, she's not the Michael Jordan of her sport as far as athleticism, playing, dominating. But A'ja Wilson is the best player in the game. Not even a debate. But I'm talking about value now. Value to a franchise, value to a league, getting your team in the playoffs. They had the number 1 pick. They were the worst team last year. And there is value.
What does all of this mean? Then, in addition to being a basketball great, Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon who is changing the game both on and off the court, attracting a large following and having a big economic impact. Her impact transcends the stat sheet, demonstrating that she is the WNBA's long-awaited superstar who will revolutionize the league's future.
Value. Michael Jordan was the most valuable player every single year because of what he meant to his team and what he meant to the league. And, oh, by the way, winning 6 titles. Can't argue with that. Caitlin Clark may not win titles. Las Vegas is still a great team. But the fact that she is doing what she's doing and at a very high level, you know, it's now commonplace where she'll go for 26 and 12. I mean, those are great numbers.
Though Caitlin Clark's path to all of these accolades may appear to be an inevitable victory, the whole story is much more complicated. For example, remember Angel Reese, the other rookie who had the basketball world in a frenzy. The media framed their alleged rivalry as the ultimate showdown, a battle for the ages that had fans glued to every game. But how close was this competition? Really,
nothing that she does where you go, did you see her? Other than she plays really, really hard, and I liken her game to Moses Malone. Moses Malone was relentless. So it's not that I don't appreciate who she is or how she plays. There is no one like Caitlin Clark. In the history of
the doctor was always comparing her to Clark's crafting. As the season progressed, some started to wonder if the rivalry was as close as it appeared, if this battle was real, or if it was more hype than substance. The story of 2 young stars locked in a season-long duel seemed like the ideal setting for a dramatic climax, as if these 2 athletes were destined to compete throughout the year.
Reese is better than Caitlin Clark, is saying Rodman was better than Michael Jordan, or Ben Wallace was better than Kobe, or even Andre Drummond was better than LeBron. And I shouldn't have to point out that Angel Reese is actually a poor defender.
When Caitlin Clark was voted Rookie of the Year and first-team All-WNBA, the answer became evident. This victory wasn't merely a victory, it was a resounding declaration that dispelled the notion of a close contest. Reese was understandably upset and made no effort to hide it. She publicly disagreed with the decision, claiming that Clark wasn't deserving of the honor. Her reaction stoked even more drama, dividing fans and igniting heated online debates. However, was Reese's frustration purely emotional, or was there something more going on?
Her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
This is the overall picture. Beyond merely vying for accolades, Clark's natural desire to excel and perform at the top level transcends the game and eliminates the necessity for rivals. Her talent isn't just remarkable. It was revolutionary, bringing women's basketball to a level never seen before. Isn't just about a player. It's about uplifting the sport as a whole and motivating supporters everywhere.
Scoring, yes, she's the all-time greatest scorer in the history of college basketball, men's or women's, but passing like this? I'm talking about gifted LeBron-esque bounce passing. I'm talking about gifted LeBron-esque two-handed, full court, touchdown pass kind of passing. The likes of which I don't see in the...
Even if it may not be due to her skill, Reese is still attracting attention to women's basketball, which is still beneficial. When was the last time to WNBA rookies created as much buzz, one for Grace's abilities and the other for her other endeavors? The use of social media filled with debates, highlights, and games with record-breaking crowds Clark and Reese drew are more than Simply athletes. They are movement leaders who have electrified the league and elevated women's basketball to a national level of discussion.
Girl was the best thing that ever happened to the WNBA. She's already the most exciting and entertaining player in the league, the entire league, the one you can't take.
But the significance of Clark's worldwide honors extends well beyond her individual accomplishments. They signal a sea change for the WNBA. Not only is Clark shattering records, but she's also redefining what's possible. Her ability to attract admirers, create excitement, and command attention has been astounding, and people aren't only referring to her as a wonderful player who is being hailed as a transformative figure who has the power to change the league as a whole. Yet with immense attention comes intense criticism. Some WNBA veterans and previous legends have voiced concerns that the heavy focus on one player could eclipse other gifted athletes. Thus, not everyone in the community is delighted about Clark's attention.
Wilson is her name. Quote, "It doesn't matter what we all do as black women, we're still..."
Some people are pushing back because they feel it's unfair and that other players who have made significant contributions to the league aren't receiving the credit they deserve. Others are concerned that the publicity surrounding Clark could lead to inflated expectations or divert attention from the teamwork that makes what makes basketball so unique is this twist. Women's basketball may benefit from all of this discussion and controversy since it is igniting discussions, attracting new followers, and bringing the WNBA unprecedented attention.
22-year-old Caitlin Clark, who has single-handedly changed the game, brought in millions of other young fans, old fans. How about the ratings in college basketball for her? Record ratings. And now in her very short WNBA career, shattering records. Isn't that a win?
Wider ramifications for the sport are more significant than merely Clark. Her success has rekindled debates about how the NBA markets its players and develops its reputation. Some contend that the league should market all of its stars more effectively. Not simply the newest craze, but there's no doubting that Clark's presence has sparked change and given women's basketball new life and excitement. Let's celebrate what we're doing and why. Caitlin Clark acknowledges her excellence and rejoices. Because of her perseverance, Clark not only broke all these records, but also redefined expectations and established a new benchmark for what a season could entail. She has elevated the bar for women's basketball and inspired the upcoming generation of players and supporters. Clark has demonstrated how elite skill and competition can captivate the public and create moments that go well beyond the actual games. She has also elevated the WNBA's profile, demonstrating that she's only getting started, yet basketball is just as exciting and captivating as its male counterpart. What's next for Clark and Reese? Their so-called rivalry has already done a lot to raise awareness of the league, but it feels like this is just the beginning. The next time they compete, keep in mind that this isn't just about competition. It's about progress, growth, and the future of the sport. Ken Clark, you go, girl. Don't listen to these people, and keep going strong. Most of us are normal and have your back. What's next for the NBA in the Caitlin Clark era? They're playing for themselves, but they're also playing for the future of women's basketball. One thing is certain, though, her skills and style of play will set a new standard for women's basketball for years to come. Do you agree? If so, please leave a comment, subscribe, and enable all notifications so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.